Mr. President.
Senator from Delaware is recognized.
Mr. President, I have three requests for committees to meet today during today's session of the Senate. They have the approval of the majority and minority leaders.
Duly noted.
Mr. President, Senator Capito has been very gracious in her thanks and praise, and it's now her turn to be on the receiving end. We've all heard of the gang of 20 or the gang of 22, the group of 20 or 22. Before there was a gang or a group of 22, there was a gang of one. The gentlewoman from West Virginia, my native state. And she joined in with the president and the president's team to really get the ball rolling. And sort of took the handoff from what we had done working with the administration, meeting with the administration, meeting with the president. But when the president, after that meeting, they decided to engage with you. And eventually, and you used the football analogy here, and you might not have gotten the ball into the end zone, but you certainly got into the red zone. And we are grateful for all of your work, and your good humor and good cheer, even when things were tough. I'm sitting right here. On my left is Mary Frances Repko, staff director of our EPW committee on Democratic side. She's joined today, I think, on the floor by John Kane, by Mackey, by Tyler Hoffman, and we have Adam over here sitting next to the ranking member. Adam, I'm not going to go through. I've gone before through the names of your staff, but I'll just say you're all back there, and we are grateful for the great support and work that you've done, each one of you. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank. You don't get to be the floor managers without somebody in the leadership saying, well, we'd like for you to be floor managers. So Senator Schumer and Senator McConnell, thank you for putting your confidence and trust in Senator Capito and me. To the floor staff, the folks that work for the leaders, thank you very much to keep us on the straight and level and heading in the right direction. Rob Portman's still here on the floor. I don't see Kirsten Sinema, but Rob is here. And Rob Senator Portman succeeds George Voinovich, dear friend as governor. We were governors together and senators together. And I miss George every day, but you have more than filled his shoes, my friend. And we salute you for your leadership. And Kirsten's relatively new here, but she has really impressed a lot of people, taken the bull by the horns, indefatigable, never gave up, just wouldn't give up. And because of her efforts and the partnership she has with Senator Portman, we are here to today. I quoted a couple of times during the debate the words of Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, when he's thrown out of office at the end of World War II, was asked, he left 10 Downing Street, is this the end? He replied famously, this is not the end, this is not the beginning of the end, this is the end of the beginning, the end of the beginning. And so it is here with us today. We are nearing the end of a debate and the final vote on the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021. And before we take a vote on the adoption of this measure, I just want to take a moment to reflect briefly on how this bipartisan infrastructure bill came to be. Senator Capito has already referred to this, but I want to reinforce it. In February of this year, at my encouragement, President Biden invited Senator Capito, Senator Cardin, Senator Inhofe, and me, all senior members of the Environment and Public Works Committee, to the White House to discuss the need to make bold investment in our nation's crumbling infrastructure. He asked us, the Environment and Public Works Committee, to lead the effort to address that need, to get to work in our committee by crafting and reporting to the full Senate, to this body, surface transportation legislation, roads, highways, bridges, as well as drinking water and water sanitation infrastructure, climate change legislation, by springtime. That was the request. In the weeks that followed, working together with all 20 members of the Environment and Public Works Committee, that's exactly what we did. 10 Democrats, 10 Republicans working together. And in May, we reported out of our committee a 5-year transportation bill with a unanimous bipartisan vote, 20-0. By more than a third, we increased investments in our roads, our highways, our bridges, with an historic climate title to help address the most serious challenge facing our planet, and that is a threat of global warming. That transportation bill is at the core of the legislation we consider today. Along with the Drinking Water and Wastewater Infrastructure Act, legislation was also reported unanimously out of the Committee of Environment and Public Works earlier this year and passed by the full Senate right here earlier this year by an 89-2 vote. That bill targets the most impoverished communities across America to help them meet their drinking and wastewater treatment needs. I'm proud, we're proud, of the work that our committee has done, made possible by the partnership that we enjoy. I think of the work that we did, Mr. President, I think it was like laying the foundation. Clean drinking water, wastewater sanitation, roads, highways, bridges, climate, really the foundation on which this package was built. And we try to provide an example to the rest of the Senate, the other committees of jurisdiction, and I'd like to think that maybe we did that. Leadership is all about leading. And the President sought and encouraged us to try to lead early this year, and I think we've met that request, and then some. I want to thank him. He didn't give up either. And he's been negotiating with Senator Capito, negotiating with the team of the Gang with 22, never gave up. A lot of people say this is a fool's errand. He never gave up. And I'm proud of him and the leadership that he's provided. But the bill before us, before this body today, builds on the strong bipartisan work of our Committee, Environment and Public Works, as well as good work done by our colleagues in other committees, Commerce Committee, Energy and Natural Resources Committees, among them. My appreciation to all who worked so tirelessly on this Herculean undertaking. Now, let me be clear. This legislation isn't perfect. It's been said before, you'll hear that again. I've never written a bill that was perfect, and this certainly, even though we've had a fair hand in writing a lot of it, it's not perfect. And despite making real progress, it doesn't go as far as we'd like to go in advancing equity, the way we treat other people, golden rule, treat other people the way we want to be treated, and tackling the existential crisis of our time, that is climate change. There's much more work to do on these issues that in my mind we have a moral obligation to address. So rest assured, I'll be joining my colleagues in fighting for progress on these fronts in the days and weeks ahead. But let's not make the perfect the enemy of the good. And make no mistake, the bill before us does a whole lot of good. It's the largest long-term investment in the nation's infrastructure in almost a century, and the largest federal investment in history when it comes to public transit, clean energy transmission, climate resiliency, clean drinking water, and wastewater infrastructure. Now, on this day, the American people are looking for us to strengthen our economy and support our communities and build for our future. On this day, we have a president dedicated to moving past partisan divides and meeting the moment for our nation. And on this day, leaders in this body from across the political spectrum, we've come together and shared purpose, common cause, and commitment to find a way forward. I want to close with the thought that there's a lot of bridge money in here, a lot of money to fix bridges, all of West Virginia, Delaware, Ohio, Maine, you name it. There's a lot of troubled water in our country, troubled water. And I like to think of this legislation crafted together across the aisle, bipartisan, with the administration. We created a bridge over troubled waters. Think about that, a bridge over troubled waters. And right at a time when we really needed one. And we could use a few more as we go along. Sometimes when I travel, people ask me, say, what do you do? What do you do anyway? They don't know what I do, and on an airplane or whatever, and I say, I help people. And they say, well, how do you help them? And I think the best way we can help people is help them find a job, have a job that they can support themselves and their families. We can help make sure that they have clean water to drink. We can help make sure they have clean air to breathe. Those are ways that we're helping people with this legislation, big time, and we'll be doing it for a long time. Colleagues, on this day, we can vote to make a down payment on a brighter future for our country. I want to ask you to join me in seizing the day, in voting to advance this legislation. Together, on this day, let us seize the day. Carpe diem. Carpe diem. I yield the floor. Thank you.